New Year's resolutions need to happen, and now is the time to amplify my business. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new. If you guys are completely new to my channel, I am a freelance makeup artist, specifically a bridal makeup artist. And I decided to implement some new and exciting things for my business in the year of 2023. With that being said, I did create a whole separate video going over how I revamped my website. If you guys were ever looking into creating your own website, what you need to include or how you would design it, then definitely go ahead and seek that video out for inspiration, because I think I definitely built a pretty solid website. In this video, I'm going to be going over how I'm going to be kind of changing more so like the back end side of things. I mainly want to start creating email templates for my brides to send out during different key points in their booking process. This is once a bride officially books with me, so they have signed my contract and put down the retainer amount. Normally brides will book me about 12 to 18 months out from their actual wedding date. And unfortunately, nothing really happens until right up until when I do the bridal previews. And I don't do my bridal previews until 1 or 2 months in advance, just because it's fresh in our minds at that point in time. People are less likely to make changes. And then also my kit can't really change that much during that period of time either. So it's really handy to have the bride's bridal previews be as close to the date as possible. And I also do require my brides to book with me before we do the preview. Since people do tend to book with me so far in advance sometimes, a lot of brides kind of get this mindset where they think they need to either reach out to me or move things along, or they think that things aren't happening soon enough, but really it's not really time for it yet. And brides don't really realize it. So I wanted to create a whole entire welcome packet for people. And this is not something, keep in mind, that I've had for the last 4 years of me being a makeup artist. This is not something that beginners should try to implement. Like, there's way too much stress as a beginner makeup artist, so just don't try to implement this right away. But if you are an experienced makeup artist and kind of want to use this to amplify your business a little bit more, this is the steps that I would personally take with it. How I came up with this welcome packet idea is by thinking about what my wedding vendors personally did for me when I got married. I just got recently married in 2020, so I am like more of a current bride. And given that, I had a couple of different vendors that actually emailed me welcome packets, and my photographer physically mailed me a welcome packet with a whole different slew of information, basically almost like a timeline of when I can expect things to kind of happen in a chronological order. That way I wasn't bothering her too much if I felt like things weren't running as smoothly as they possibly could, or if things weren't happening as soon as I thought they would. It kind of just eased my peace of mind, saying, okay, well, she's got me. She knows when this is supposed to happen. I am not going to be spending money, however, on a physical hard copy that people are not going to keep. So I wanted to do this completely for free. And so this is a resource that you guys can do without paying any money, without doing any subscriptions. This is the website that I use for all my social media graphics. So anything that you guys see that I post on Instagram or on YouTube, like all my YouTube thumbnails are created here too. It's called Canva. So canva.com. And all you have to do is create an account. It's completely for free. Again, as I said, seriously, no strings attached. I do personally have the pro version of Canva just so I can access like all the features that I need to create YouTube thumbnails. You'll see as I go through here, if you notice, there are things that have crowns by them, and those are all the things that only pros can access. And then all the rest of the things are just like the basic stuff that you can access for free. The really awesome thing about Canva is that you can create anything and everything. You can start out with a completely blank template if you want to. However, they have tons and tons and tons of templates on here that you can just customize, switch out the wording, switch out the graphics. This is the place, if you are a creative in general, that you want to go and design like social media graphics, like this is the place, because I swear after I found Canva, like my life was changed. I've been using Canva for the last 2 years, pretty much since I started my YouTube channel and got linked up with it, and I've loved it ever since. This is not sponsored by them. They have no idea who I am, just to let you know. What you can do basically is you can search through content or Canva here, and then you can say like Instagram stories. And then all of these are just templates that you can use for your Instagram stories. I mean, there is tons and tons of Instagram stories you can go through. You can flip out the images. You can even play around with the graphics of them. Delete elements. You can add elements to these. Like, it's very customizable. And then I've used this one multiple different times. I also have gone on to YouTube thumbnail. And all these are just YouTube thumbnails, just in case you guys are a YouTuber and kind of need ideas. I've used some of these before and switched them out. Like this one probably looks familiar because I've used this template for some of my vlogs. So yeah, Definitely cool. And then also what makes them really nice is that you don't even have to worry about the actual dimensions of what the things that you're creating are. Whenever I put in YouTube thumbnails, then it automatically customizes the right size to fit on YouTube's thumbnail section. And then same with Instagram stories or Instagram posts, like they'll automatically customize the format and the size ratio that it needs to be to fit onto Instagram. I forget exactly what I typed in to get this, but let me go ahead and show you what I came up with as far as my welcome packet here. Now, before I go into this, I just want to preface this by saying that technically my stuff isn't copyrighted, so you can copy it, but I wouldn't suggest it just because, number one, I spent a lot of hours thinking about this. And so to have somebody just like copy all my wording and like my thoughts exactly on this, it's kind of like a no-no. Just like as a creative in general, you just can't copy like another creative's work and call it your own. So it's like the same thing. So just keep that in mind. So I more so want you guys to just seek inspiration from it as opposed to just copy it directly. And I'm never going to have these for sale or anything because they are very personal to me and my business. I kind of debated about whether I wanted to show you guys like everything, to be completely honest. But I kind of just figured like, why not? It did take me probably about 5 hours to kind of create everything. So I used like one of these things here. So if I say see all, I think I used this template to begin with. And then I kind of just started like brainstorming and mapping like off of this with the same color scheme and the same layout and everything. This is pretty much my welcome pamphlet that I'm gonna have for people, and then I'm gonna attach this in an email once my brides officially book with me. This can be completely detached and you can insert your own photo. This element can like move around. I mean, you can customize it however way you want it to. You can change the font, you can change the colors. This border, you can change like up and down if you wanted to. You can completely delete it. You can change the color. Like, just know that everything is super customizable in Canva, which is why I use it. So I just have a picture of myself here and it says, hey there, thank you for choosing me to be your bridal makeup artist. I believe in not only turning my bride's makeup vision into reality, but also creating the best experience possible. Then this is a little quote that I like saying. So I said, this is no ordinary day. Why not go all out? And then I have a signature, which is like a fake signature. It's not really like my signature. It was just one of the fonts that I picked on here. And then I just said at @JulieMarie_artistry, which is my Instagram handle. And if you do a PDF document like this, you always want to do page numbers so people know how many pages they have to flip through. So then on the second page, I decided to include some fun facts about me, kind of like a get to know your artist sort of thing, just so people kind of feel a little bit more, I guess, at ease with hiring me. I don't really do like Zoom consultations or phone calls or anything before people book me. So people really, besides just going on Instagram and just seeing how my personality is, or maybe going on YouTube and seeing how I do things, people don't really know a lot about me. By having something like this to send them, I think it'll just ease their peace of mind a little bit more. And just the fact that I took the time to actually create a welcome packet as a makeup artist is really cool. And I think it'll also make me stand out as a makeup artist too, because I don't think any other makeup artist in my area does anything like this. So this page says fun facts about me. I have been a makeup artist for the past 8 years now and branched out on my own 4 years ago. I recently got married in 2020 and now have an amazing husband and 2 fur children, my dogs. I am a YouTuber. Yes, that's right. I started my channel in 2020 and it's taken off past 10K subs now, which is insane. I love traveling. Anywhere tropical and on a beach is preferred. And then the last thing I said is I am a frequent visitor to Starbucks. I love my vanilla lattes. And as you guys could tell by my vlogs that I've included on YouTube, I am definitely a lover of anything Starbucks and vanilla. Then at the very bottom, I said, I can't wait to get to know you as well. Maybe we'll have some things in common. So then for the third page, this is where I kind of decided to create like my own version of a photographer's timeline. There's a lot of brides, and I'm not gonna name names, but I've had a lot of brides in the past that have basically wanted to know when they should schedule the bridal preview, even though when I have them book officially, I do tell them that I'll reach out to them in 1 or 2 months before the actual wedding date to schedule the preview. But I don't think that sinks in with a lot of people. And a lot of my brides just want to be like very proactive, or they're very excited about it. I totally understand, because I mean, if you've been engaged for like 2 years, say, and you book all your vendors up ahead of time, you have like a 1.5 years to go before you start reaching out to anybody. So I get the feeling that people are probably getting antsy by that point in time. So I kind of wanted to create a whole entire mini timeline for my brides about how my workflow usually goes. So I just said Julie Marie Artistry and I put workflow, and then I said these are some key dates for my brides to look forward to. Number 1 is you're booked. So contract and retainer received, your date is secured. For me, at the 6-month mark, this is when the final headcount for makeup services is due, and that's per my contract. I probably should make it a little bit farther out, but some people don't book me up until the 6 months. 6 months is still long enough that I can try to find another makeup artist if I need it. But normally, if I think that there is a ton of people involved that I might possibly need a secondary when somebody books with me, then I'll go ahead and have them just finalize people then. 1 to 2 months before is when the bridal preview is scheduled. Then 3 to 4 weeks before is getting ready schedule is provided upon receiving photographer's timeline. As we all know, working in the wedding industry now, your photographer is the one that ultimately designates the actual schedule for the day and when the getting ready by time is. Sometimes when I ask my brides what their getting ready by time is, they'll tell me the ceremony time. And it's not the same thing because you're not going to be automatically getting hair and makeup done and then get right into walking down the aisle. You have getting ready photos, you have first looks, you have family photos possibly, you have photos with your bridesmaids, your bridal party, etc. Usually your getting ready by time is like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours before the actual ceremony starts. So that's why about 3 to 4 weeks before, after they've gotten their timeline from their photographer, I'll go ahead and reach out to them and be like, hey, when is the final time for this? Or can you send me your photographer's timeline? So then 1 week before, confirm all details and discuss any changes that need made. And sometimes there are changes that happen very last minute. So I want to go over those when I can. At the very end is wedding day. So let's celebrate and have fun. There is a dot right here that does not need to be there. Yeah, so as you can tell, this is like all a line. So I'm just gonna delete the line really quickly and then save that. That is pretty much how my workflow timeline looks. And I think that'll just give brides like a better idea of like when to expect certain things to happen with me. So they're just not like twiddling their thumbs and just waiting or thinking that I forgot something. And then this is basically like my last leaving off page. It really doesn't have any info or anything. And then this is when I tell them not to worry about reaching out to me because I have them covered. The whole entire reason you hire a vendor is so they take care of things for you. So you shouldn't have to reach out to your vendors like ever for things. And my brides shouldn't have to lift a finger. I'll take care of everything. I'll reach out to you first whenever a key date comes around, which is one of those event dates on the timeline that I sent them. Until then, if you need to reach me, email me at julie@jmartistrymakeup.com. So then that is technically my last page. Okay, going back to the actual workflow timeline that I'm sending my brides. As I said, 6 months for me personally is when the final headcount for makeup services is due. And I am the world's worst person at trying to remember when 6 months from people's wedding date is. And I know what you guys are gonna say. I know you guys are gonna ask me, why don't I do like a client management software or something like that, like Honeybook? I'm going to esthetician school next November and I don't wanna start with a client management software like that and then just have to discontinue it for like 9 months. So after esthetician school, when I relaunch my business again, I'm going to start doing Honeybook for sure. But as of right now, I'm gonna try to just manage it for this year as much as possible. Actually, now that I think about it, this is 2023. I'm starting esthetician school this November, not next November. 6 months before though, I do want to create calendar reminders in my phone, I think, as of now, and just look at all my weddings that I have going on for this year, backtrack 6 months, and just put a reminder in my phone to send out a 6-month email. With that being said, I want to also create another email template for the 6-month mark saying like, hey, this is when your final headcount for makeup services is due. After this point, you can't subtract any people. If you do decide to subtract people, that fee will either have to be accounted for or somebody has to go in their place. And people can only be added on if the time allows for it. So that's pretty much how I kind of want to word the email. I just haven't been super good at enforcing this rule of the 6-month out period, but it's also my fault too for not following up with them at the 6-month mark because a lot of people don't read all the way through my contract. So they don't know that it's due 6 months out and I just forget to remind them of that every single time. The whole reason that I'm doing this is mainly because I know a lot of things can get chaotic and weddings are very unpredictable sometimes and there are just going to be things that you can't control. But the things that I can control are my back end procedures. So I think the more organized that you are as a makeup artist or as a wedding vendor, the more smoothly that it's going to be for your clients, and you're almost like setting the standards or the expectations that you have for your clients by telling them these things. With that being said, I also am going to send out something to them for the bridal preview. At the 2-month mark is when I'm going to send this out. And again, I'm probably gonna have to put in like another calendar reminder to do this. And this is the reason that I want to do this 2 months out is because it'll give them enough time to prep for this. So this is what I'm gonna say. I said it's time for your bridal preview and then dress in home studio. And I do have my address blurred out below this because obviously I don't want you guys to see where I live. Time approximation estimation is 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on the package chosen or the look desired. A lot of people come to their bridal previews very, very unprepared, especially if people aren't really into makeup. And this is a 3-page document for this bridal preview that I'm gonna send them. And it's basically just food for thought sort of things. So this one is how to prep. Come with a clean makeup-free face. Do not apply any additional products, moisturizer, or SPF, as it may interfere with products that are applied. Any self-enhancements such as tanning, lash extensions, etc. should be done for the preview as well. So that's pretty much why I want to send this out at the 2-month mark and schedule this with them then. If they are planning on like doing lash extensions or tanning or something, it gives them plenty of time to like book out an appointment if it's 2 months in advance. The idea is to preview the wedding day look. Any change in appearance can cause colors to look different, or products may have to be switched out entirely. I have several brides that always tell me that they're going to be self-tanned on their wedding day. Your makeup look is going to turn out completely different. Put on a lighter tone nude lipstick color when you are more fair, and then you get self-tanned and you're a little bit darker, that lip color is going to look a little bit lighter. You might also have to completely switch out products, like tanners might dry out your skin a little bit more, and in that case I might have to prep you differently. Please show up the way that you're going to actually look on your wedding day, basically. So then I said style your hair. This could be as simple as some curls. Having a full face of makeup, especially when you aren't used to it, may seem very strange if your hair doesn't match it. Like, I've seen people show up in like messy buns, or their hair is not even combed. And I'm, again, not calling out certain people or anything, but I've seen it done in the past. And whenever people have like a fully done up glam face, sometimes it looks a little bit odd and the makeup looks really intense if their hair doesn't really look uniform with it. So that's basically what I'm trying to say with this. But then the other thing that I have as a tip for their hair is try styling it in a similar way that it'll look on your actual wedding day. And again, it doesn't have to be as elaborate, obviously, because I know that people are not hairstylists. If you're doing like an updo, you can pull it up into like a bun or something. Most everybody knows how to do a bun. And then if they obviously are having their hair down, or maybe doing like half up, half down or something, then they can kind of do that sort of hairstyle, just so it more so kind of replicates a little bit more how the makeup's going to go with the hair and vice versa. The last suggestion I have for this is wear a light/white top, or whichever color best matches your dress. This will give you a better idea of what the makeup will look like with the color of dress you'll be wearing. And a lot of people don't really think about this. Some people will show up in like really baggy t-shirts or just like lounging attire or something like that. And I'm fine with you being comfy. Like, I understand that people want you to be comfy for like that 2-hour period of just sitting in a chair, but this is not a tattoo session. Like, you're not just going to be sit there and being bored the whole entire time and not allowed to talk. So I at least want people to at least wear like a nicer top or something that's a similar color that's going to actually match the color of their wedding dress, just so it kind of like better matches what they're actually going to be wearing on their wedding day. So then the next page that I have is reference photos and things to consider. Please have 2 to 3 reference photos ready. This will give me a better idea of the kind of look you're thinking for the big day. 2 to 3 is enough for me to see a trend with what they're looking for, but it's not so many that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is kind of overwhelming and all these look different. These can be from any source, but keep in mind that the majority of the makeup looks you will find online will be heavily photoshopped. A lot of people do not realize that. There's a ton of brides that show me photos and they're like, I want my skin to look like this. I want it to be as smooth as this. And I'm like, that is a computer that's doing that. That is not the actual person's skin. And it's hard to explain to clients without coming off like really negative. So I'm putting it in here so I don't have to have this conversation with them in person. Then I said, this is why I highly recommend you grabbing some inspo off my Instagram. You hired me for my style, so there must be some pics on there that caught your eye. And that's also a better and more realistic version of what you're going to be getting, as opposed to some photoshopped Instagram model. Okay, wait, I just realized that I totally copied and pasted this in the wrong area. Okay, I'm gonna add something to this too. I'm also gonna say on here to try to find inspo pictures or pictures of models that have similar features to you. Like, don't, for instance, pick out Instagram photos that have like people with blonde hair and blue eyes when you have brown hair and brown eyes. The makeup's not gonna look the same. And also with skin tones too, it's like the same thing. So I'm gonna say something about that here. This will give you a more representation of what that makeup will look like on you. The next thing I have things to consider. This is the things that people, especially if they're not makeup wearers, probably do not think about. What makeup do you wear on the daily? Do you want something similar or more glam? Your wedding colors, do you want them to be incorporated in your look somehow? What is the overall vibe of your wedding? Would you want your look to match this? Do you want shimmer/glitter on your eyes, or do you prefer to keep it all matte? Are you a winged liner person? or do you like it simple and straight across? What kind of coverage are you looking for in your skin? How much of your skin would you like to see through the foundation? So there's just like little tiny things that if people haven't thought about those, maybe consider it. Then on the very last page, I said house rules, sorry, gotta have them. Since it is in my own personal residence, I'm very weary of people that walk into my house. I need to maintain a sense of security, and my husband's not always home. Only one additional person besides yourself is allowed at the bridal preview. My space is very limited and I cannot accommodate more than 3 people in the room at one time, including myself. Yeah, I've had people bring like 3 or 4 additional people. I had one person that tried to bring their whole entire bridal party into my space. I don't know what people are confused about when I say in-home, but that doesn't mean that I have a whole entire rentable warehouse going on that I have my studio set up in. Like, there is not enough room for people in here, and I also don't want that many people walking into my house that I don't know. But by me having these expectations set for them, it's going to prevent people from just doing whatever they want. And also, what's really weird is that a lot of the times people won't tell me if they're bringing people with them. Like, they'll just show up with those people at my house, and it's kind of weird. So I think I'm gonna make that another rule now that I'm thinking about it. Let me read off the second one, and then I'll go ahead and do this one. So the second rule is no boys allowed. This is mainly for my sense of security. This is my own personal residence where I may be the only one home, so maintaining a safe space is important. Plus, I doubt they'll really enjoy themselves while we chat about makeup for a couple hours. And I kind of wanted to throw in a joke there, so it doesn't look like I'm being too harsh or anything. But I've had people bring their future fiancés into my space before and haven't actually told me. And that's like a huge safety issue with me, especially because my husband floats in and out of the house. It's my own house, like, just be considerate, you know? So all I said is, please let me know if you are bringing an additional person. Again, just a common courtesy for me and my house. And the last thing I put on here is, let me know if any of these apply to you before we meet. Number 1, you have sensitive skin or know what you are sensitive to. Number 2, you're allergic to specific products or ingredients. If you had a previous bridal preview with another artist, what did you like or didn't like about it? I take allergies very seriously, and so, I mean, if somebody tells me they're allergic to a specific ingredient, I will go through my whole entire makeup kit, as you should, and try to pull products that you know are going to work for a person. And also, I like to know if somebody did have a previous bridal preview, because a lot of the times people will tell me, like, I didn't like this about them, and this is why I didn't choose them. It's not to bash other makeup artists. It's just purely from my knowledge and wanting my bride to have the best bridal experience they can with me. And I just said, any other questions, email me. Okay, then going on to my workflow timeline again, the 3 to 4 weeks before is when they usually get their photography timeline. So at that point in time, I'm gonna actually create a whole other template, I think, on Canva and send that to them in a PDF document. It's basically telling people when I'm gonna arrive. Setting up time is like 15 minutes or so, and then the applications start about 15 minutes after I arrive. Just because you can't teleport and then start applications at the same time, it doesn't happen. Like, you need time to set up. Sometimes you don't know where you're setting up. Having that extra 15 minutes buffer window is really nice, just so people know that you will be showing up earlier. And I usually personally take about 45-minute time slots for each person. That includes my cleanup time in between people, like sanitizing and everything. So I'll include those 45-minute time slots, put names in those time slots so everybody knows when they need to be present. And then I'll just ask all my brides to like distribute it to everybody in the bridal party that's getting makeup services done. At that point in time, be sending out an email that's going over the final total of what everybody owes and the different methods of payment that I take. Yeah, this is like all my little memo situation that I have going on here. This is when I think I'm gonna create another email or Canva template for myself. I'm gonna send this about 1 month after their wedding date. And this pretty much is because it gives them enough time to kind of settle down if they go on a honeymoon directly after. So 1 month after is like a pretty safe bet to like email people to follow up. I want to say in an email thanking them for hiring me as their makeup artist, wishing them well on their honeymoon and in their new marriage. And then in this email, I'm also going to say, if you really did enjoy my bridal services, I would really appreciate you leaving a review for me. You can do this on my Facebook page, or you could also do this on Google. And I'm gonna link both of those review pages because I have such a hard time getting reviews from people. People don't just leave reviews for you, by the way. I think there's only maybe 3 brides in the total of me working over 100 weddings now that have actually made the effort to leave a review on their own. And even when I've asked for them in the past, people are like, yeah, I'll get around to it. I'll do this like next month. I'll do this tomorrow. They never do. And people don't really realize like how much reviews actually do help a business. Having a numerous amount of reviews, people are just automatically going to trust that vendor a little bit more. Genius idea I had in order to get reviews from people by leaving a review that gets them an entry into winning a $50 Target gift card. 1 review in each of the websites gets them an entry for a max of 2 entries if they want to. And at the very end of the year, with all my 2023 brides, I'm basically going to throw the amount of entries that each bride has into a hat and draw one name, and that winner will get a $50 Target gift card. And that also makes it around Christmas time too when I'd be doing the giveaway. So would be very helpful to have a $50 Target gift card around Christmas time. That's pretty much what my whole, I guess, incentive is. And it's really not going to cost me that much in the grand scheme of things. And also I can write that $50 Target gift card off for taxes. You do have to find crafty ways in like getting the things that you want in your business. And that is one of the things I thought of this year. And then the very last thing, as you can tell on here, is 1 year later, I want to send them a happy anniversary template pretty much on Canva. It's going to be very simplistic, but at least it'll let them know that I've thought about them. I just think that it'll make me stand out more as a makeup artist then. And plus, it's a whole year later. It kind of almost pings them a little bit and is like, hey, Julie was actually a really good makeup artist and she took the time to actually send me a happy anniversary email. Maybe I should say something about this, or maybe I should refer her to other people because of this. That's also kind of what I was thinking about that too. And that pretty much sums up this video. If you guys did enjoy the video and got some great ideas, definitely go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, as well as also subscribing down to my channel. I do upload a ton of makeup artist related content, tips, vlogs, etc. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in seeing, then definitely go ahead and subscribe to my channel. As always, I hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. All right, bye.